House will come to order. Members, please take your seats. Sergeant at Arms.
The House is now in session. All persons not entitled to privileges of the floor, please retire to the gallery.
The members will rise and be led in prayer by the Reverend Dr. Lisa Johnson, St. Paul's Baptist Church, Richmond, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, which will be led by the delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Good morning. Let us pray. All-wise and eternal God, we pause just to say thank you for the opportunity to come before you this morning. Lord, as we enter into this time of session, we ask that you would guide every one of our thoughts, rearrange our heart if it's outside of your will. Speak to us like only you can. God, as these decision makers make decisions about your people, I ask you in the strong name of Jesus to remind them that you have told us in Micah 6, verse 8, what is required of us. You told us that we are to show what is good. You told us that we are to act with justice, to love, to show mercy, and that we must be humble as we live in the sight of you. And so, God, as we enter into this session, we ask that we would move any barriers that would keep us from doing what is right for your people. We ask you to be in our hearts as we make decisions, that we would lead, guide, and direct according to your will and not our own personal agendas. This is our prayer. In the name of Jesus, we ask it. Amen.
Amen. The members will answer the roll call by indicating their presence on the electronic voting board. Clerk will close the roll.
Mr. Speaker, a quorum is present.
Pursuant to House Rule 3, I've examined and approved the Journal of the House of Delegates for October 27th, 2025. Motions and resolutions under Rule 39 pursuant to provisions of Rule 40 are now in order. The clerk shall announce the first morning hour order of business, including any clerk's announcements and communications.
Mr. Speaker, we received a communication from the governor, which I'll be emailing to everyone momentarily. Also, pursuant to House Rule 40, the Speaker requests members use the request to speak button for the agenda items listed by reference up on the voting board. The Speaker also advises that the House P&E Committee, Privileges and Elections Committee, will be meeting immediately upon any or the first recess.
Mr. Speaker.
Delegate from Scott County.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, I've been here quite a while, and normally when we have a communications from the governor, it's read on the floor of the House. Normally that's how it's done. Are we going away from that normal practice?
Yes, we will not be reading any message from the governor unless he's called in special session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The delegate from Fredericksburg, Delegate Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our invocation was given to us this morning by Reverend Dr. Lisa M. Johnson, who is seated in the back. I'd ask that she please rise. Lisa, as she is affectionately called, is a product of Richmond City Public Schools and retired from the same school system after serving for over 30 years. She completed her undergraduate studies at Virginia State University, graduated from Healing Care Ministries Advanced Spiritual Directive Program, earned a Master of Divinity degree with honors from the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology at Virginia Union University, and has an earned Doctor of Ministry degree in counseling from Ashland Theological Seminary in Ashland, Ohio. She currently serves on the board at the Center for Workforce Inclusion, Empowering Older Adults. Lisa is the Encore Life Stage Pastor at the St. Paul's Baptist Church here in Richmond, and the former co-pastoral director at Richmond Hill, an urban ecumenical Christian retreat facility in Richmond, Virginia. She is also the founder of Alicia Johnson Ministries. She serves on the Healing Care Team for the Healing Place, Center for Christian Counseling and Spiritual Formation, and she is a sought-after preacher, speaker, and facilitator for workshops and conferences. She was licensed and ordained to preach the gospel at the St. Paul's Baptist Church in Richmond, Virginia, and serves as the chaplain in the Henrico County Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. It is her desire to be used of God and served as a wounded healer, bringing others to a place of holistic healing. And she stands on the scripture, Genesis 50:20. What the devil meant for my demise, God has turned it around for my good, so that many might be saved. I would ask that the House give her a warm house welcome. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The delegate from Chesterfield, Delegate Corner.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for an introduction.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, joining us today in the gallery, and I asked what they would stand, is the Libertas Homeschool Co-op. They are a group consisting of homeschool families from Chesterfield, Dinwiddie, and Nottoway counties. They meet once a week for a collaborative academic session, and students range in age from 10 to 13. This year, studies include a current events class focusing on the gubernatorial election, the government process at the state level, and Virginia history. They planned this visit to the Capitol, and I warned them it would be pretty boring because none of us would be here. Little did they know that they would be here when we were all called back into session. So I would ask the House join me in giving the Libertas Homeschool Co-op a warm house welcome.
Welcome to the Capitol today. The delegate from Culpeper, Delegate Freitas.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction and a motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. With us today in the gallery, we have the largest high school Turning Point USA chapter in the Commonwealth of Virginia, the second largest in the country. I had the privilege of going and speaking to this group a little bit while back. They had well over 100 students participating in an incredibly civil debate, discussion, question and answer. It was an outstanding demonstration of what happens when civically minded students can come together and peacefully discuss issues, and I hope it will be the pleasure of the body to give them a warm house welcome.
Good morning and welcome to the Capitol. The delegate has a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I'm going to move that we adjourn in the honor and memory of Charlie Kirk, and I'd like to briefly speak to that motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. September 10th was an incredibly hard day for many of us. It was not only difficult but because we watched a very good man, a husband, a father, get murdered in front of thousands of students and on live television, but also because of the reaction that we saw to it within our country. I think there were many of us that felt as if something fundamental had changed in our entire political discourse in this country as a result of that. And unfortunately, that tenor has continued. And I think it's important that we do understand that something has fundamentally changed. Charlie Kirk was doing his level best to engage in civil debate on very controversial issues, and he was murdered for it. But that is not going to stop the debate. As we can see by the largest chapter in Virginia and the second largest high school chapter in the country visiting here today, there are many people that were inspired by Charlie Kirk because they felt like he gave them the courage to speak up, many of them at places, schools, and institutions that had repeatedly tried to shut them up and tell them to sit down. And what I saw happening at Western Albemarle High School with this group was a bunch of students that would refuse to do so. You know, it's been said before, Mr. Speaker, that cowardice is contagious, but so is courage. And Charlie Kirk demonstrated for many of us what it is to walk humbly with your God and to also fight for the things that you believe in. He lived well, and he died in such a way that has inspired so many. Our prayers are with Erica and with Charlie's young children. And so, Mr. Speaker, with that, I would again move that today we adjourn in the honor and memory of Charlie Kirk. Well done, good and faithful servant.
The delegate from Culpeper, Delegate Freitas, moves that when the House adjourn today, do so in the honor and memory of Charlie Kirk. All those in favor, please rise. The motion is agreed to. Delegate from Albemarle, Delegate Laufer.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you. Today in the Capitol, we are joined by both the Virginia National Organization for Women and the Charlottesville chapter. I hope they can stand. This is a voluntary nonprofit organization that works to secure social, political, and economic equality for all women and girls across the broad range of human rights issues. Through its leadership, educational programs, and outreach, both the broader Virginia Now and the Charlottesville chapter have inspired engagement of community members from across the Commonwealth. Through its grassroots, multi-issue, multi-strategy approach, these organizations have led advocates to champion reproductive freedom and economic equality, fight for racial justice, denounce LGBTQ+ discrimination, and work to end violence against women, leading advocates to lobby local, state, and national lawmakers. Additionally, Charlottesville Now is celebrating 50 years of activism. We actually had a commending resolution in January. Just want to congratulate them again. Mr. Speaker, let us extend our thanks to both Virginia Now and Charlottesville Now for making the trip to our capital today, for bringing their voices, for bringing their commitment. It is my hope that we could give them a warm welcome from the House. Thank you.
Welcome to the Capitol today. The delegate from Dinwiddie, Delegate Taylor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for an introduction.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, joining us today in the gallery is Lieutenant David Gunn with the Dinwiddie Sheriff's Department. He has bravely served Dinwiddie County for 33 years. Lieutenant Gunn started his career as a dispatcher at 19 years old, and for the last 14 years has served as Lieutenant of Investigations. Dinwiddie County is a better and safer place because of his service. On September 25th, Lieutenant Gunn bravely arrested and took into custody Michael Ray Strawmeyer, the man who threatened my life. The death threat I received a few weeks ago was clear. The message was vile and hateful. I plan to kill Kim Taylor. She's ruining this country. Thanks to the swift work of the Dinwiddie Sheriff's Office and our law enforcement partners, the individual responsible was quickly arrested. All of our family sacrificed for our public service. Their sacrifice and blessing of our public service shouldn't be terrified for our lives. Yes, I was horribly shaken and scared. The politically driven threat against my life was clear and very real. Mr. Speaker, the worst part of that day was calling my daughter and my parents to tell them that my life was in danger. My daughter immediately began to cry. She said, "What's happening to this world?" All the political violence she saw on the news was now very personal to her. I wanted to tell her that everything was okay, that I would be fine, but I couldn't. I couldn't comfort her. A radicalized person allowed their rage to fuel them. The message was clear. I plan to kill Kim Taylor. She's ruining our country. My family now lives in fear. That's what happens when political leaders normalize anger and excuse calls for violence. When they explicitly tell their followers to let their rage fuel them, they are lighting a match in a room full of gasoline. Let me be clear, this isn't about parties, it's about basic human dignity. It's about a responsibility, as Virginia's elected leaders realize the words have consequences, and reckless rhetoric puts us all in danger. That brings me back to Jay Jones' violent comments about shooting our former Speaker of the House in the head and wishing death upon his children. These are beyond disqualifying, and the silence from his party tells you everything you need to know. If Democrats can't summon the courage to condemn threats and violence within their own ranks, how can Virginians trust them to lead our state? I didn't run for office to fight with my neighbors or fear for my safety. I ran to serve my community and make life better for Virginia families. No threat, no intimidation will ever change that, because leadership means standing firm even when it's uncomfortable. And I wish my Democrat colleagues had the courage to do the same. Please wish Lieutenant David Gunn a warm House welcome.
Welcome to the Capitol. I'm going to remind all members that if you have an introduction, that's not the time to include your point of personal privilege in that. You make your introduction. Otherwise, I will be forced to rule you out of motion. That's the last time that will happen on this floor today. The delegate from Norfolk, Delegate Anthony.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today in the Capitol, we are joined by Buffalo Family and Friends. If they would stand, please. Buffalo Family and Friends is a nonprofit organization based in South Norfolk community of Chesapeake, Virginia. For more than 16 years, they have been faithfully serving residents across the 757, fighting food insecurity, reducing food waste, and educating the public about solutions to food disparities. What began with one act of compassion when founders Nichelle and Delina Buffalo shared a meal with a hungry neighbor has grown into a movement feeding thousands. From monthly giveaways that started on the side of their home to now operating a full-service food pantry, soup kitchen, and community hub. Buffalo Family and Friends continues to meet people where they are with dignity, warmth, and hope. Their impact reaches across generations. They deliver hot meals and groceries to over 10 senior communities each month, host back-to-school and holiday programs for children and families, and even provide free salon services in partnership with local high school cosmetology students. Their signature Thanksgiving initiative alone served more than 25,000 meals in 2024, embodying their belief that no one should go hungry ever. Buffalo Family and Friends reminds us that service rooted in love can transform communities. Their work has made Chesapeake and the entire Hampton Roads region stronger, more compassionate, and more connected. Mr. Speaker, members of the body, please join me in recognizing Buffalo Family and Friends for their unwavering dedication to feeding families, uplifting spirits, and advancing food justice throughout the Commonwealth. I hope that we will give them a warm house welcome.
Welcome to the Capitol. The delegate from Warren, Delegate Oates.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Joining us in the Capitol today are members of Moms Saying No to Violence Against Children, a group dedicated to protecting Virginia's children and calling out those who use them as pawns in politics. If they're in the gallery, I don't know if they've made it in, please rise. Mr. Speaker, our children are Virginia's future, the heart of our families and a gift from God. These mothers understand that sacred duty. Their mission is simple: to ensure every child grows up safe, healthy, and free from hate. When anyone, especially a public figure, wishes harm on a child, that they die in their mother's arms so that they can win a political point, these moms refuse to stay silent.
The delegate is out of order.
They rise,
the
they
delegate
speak,
is out of
and they
order.
remind
Sergeant
us
at
all
Arms,
violence
the delegate
against
is out of
children.
order. Sergeant at Arms. The delegate from Chesterfield, Delegate Gardner. The delegate from Chesterfield, Delegate Gardner.
Mr. Speaker,
As respectfully as I can, I'm asking the members again, if you have a political speech about the current election that has nothing to do with an introduction, please refrain. I'm going to rule you out of order every single time. Thank you. You can speak to the press. They're all here. They're waiting on you to go talk to them. You can go out there and talk to them. The delegate from Chesterfield, Delegate Gardner.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
A real introduction?
Yes, sir.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today in the Capitol, we are joined by the Virginia State Conference of the NAACP's president, leadership, and members of sections throughout the Commonwealth. We would ask them to stand if they're in the gallery. This includes the Chesterfield branch and the Charlottesville-Albemarle branch of the NAACP, which is one of the oldest branches of the NAACP in the Commonwealth. Mr. Speaker, the NAACP has long been the vanguard for civil rights and advocate for equality and the source of empowerment in our communities. At the end of the 19th century, racial discrimination and slavery were consumed in the fires of the Civil War, and to prevent its return, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments were added to the U.S. Constitution. By the early years of the 20th century, racial discrimination mandated by state law reappeared, again dominating and the social fabric of our great Commonwealth. In the Constitution of Virginia in 1902, it was written, white and colored children should not be taught in the same schools. And the Virginia Constitution was amended to deny the right to vote by establishing poll taxes and other barriers. There was but scant participation by blacks in the electoral process. In fact, a scant 90 years ago, discrimination against people of color was codified in nearly every aspect of the Commonwealth's political, economic, and social structures. It was in this environment that the NAACP was founded in Virginia. And since that time, the NAACP has been active and proactive agent against change, working to ensure that all citizens are created fairly. In the 50s, it was the NAACP that worked to eliminate segregation and interstate modes of transportation. And today, more than 90 years later, it is the NAACP that works on equity and empowerment, ensuring that issues of preserving history in our schools, maximizing participation in the electoral process. I hope members of this chamber will join me in welcoming the state leadership and members of the Virginia State Conference of the NAACP.
The delegate from York County, Delegate Green.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
A real introduction? The delegate has the floor.
As real as it can get.
Let's see.
And at this time, I would ask for members of the Queens Lake swim team and swim moms to rise.
Yay!
Now here's where it gets a little political. They organized in 2023 after a local pediatrician and perennial candidate voted to allow men to swim in the women's events and use the women's locker room. They're here today to speak with their legislators, and at this time I would ask for the House to give them an even warmer House welcome.
The delegate from Prince William, Delegate Maldonado.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I ask I move that when the House adjourns today, it adjourn in the honor and memory of Cheryl Tates Macias Hamby, and I'd like to speak to that motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise in honor of the memory of Cheryl Tates Macias Hamby. Cheryl was a devoted public servant, community leader, and beloved wife, mother, sister, and friend to so many of us across our area. Her life was defined by service to her country, her community, and her faith. Born to Marguerite Berry Robinson and Edward Whitfield Tate Sr., she grew up with a deep sense of duty to others that guided her throughout her remarkable career. From her years serving on Capitol Hill and congressional offices to her leadership in the Clinton administration and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Cheryl dedicated her life to fighting hunger, advancing opportunity, and uplifting those who are too often left behind. Beyond her distinguished federal career, Cheryl continued to pour her energy into her community, her people, and even me. She was a tireless volunteer and mentor through Boy Scouts of America, the Rotary Club of Manassas, and the Prince William Democratic Committee. Whether she was leading a service project, mentoring young people, or organizing voters, Cheryl led with grace, beauty, commitment, accountability, integrity, and purpose. Her warmth, humor, and authenticity made everyone she met feel both seen and valued. And she leaves behind her loving husband and children, her extended family, and countless friends and colleagues who were touched by her light. And today we honor her extraordinary life and legacy. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The delegate from Prince William, Delegate Maldonado, moves that when we adjourn today, we do so in the honor and memory of Cheryl Tate Macias Hamby. All those in favor shall please rise. The motion is agreed to. The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Tran.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I would like to rise for a motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I move that when the House adjourns today, it adjourns in the honor and memory of Irene Rosenbaum, and I would like to speak to that motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Irene Rosenbaum was born in Washington, D.C., and from a young age, she embodied curiosity and compassion, qualities that would define her life and career. She attended Perkiomen School, went on to earn a degree in mechanical engineering from the University of Maryland, and brought her technical mind and love of innovation to public service. For 20 years, Irene served as a patent examiner at the United States Patent and Trademark Office, where she allowed over 2,000 inventions to be patented. Her work quietly fueled American innovation and supported inventors, entrepreneurs, and researchers. But Irene's impact extended far beyond her professional achievements. She was also a passionate advocate for her colleagues, and through her involvement with the Patent Office Professional Association, Irene fought for fairness and equity in the workplace. As part of the negotiating team, she helped win paid parental leave for all employees, a benefit that continues to support families and strengthen the federal workforce today. In addition to her challenging career in advocacy for coworkers, Irene also gave an extraordinary amount of time and heart to her community. She volunteered with the First Baptist Church of Springfield and at St. Christopher's Episcopal Church. And for 17 years, Irene was a dedicated volunteer at Crestwood Elementary School in Springfield. To the teachers, staff, and students, she was like family. Crestwood's principal shared the following in memory of Irene. She was a fixture at our school for over 20 years, and it's hard to imagine our hallways without her. We remember her as a constant source of warmth and kindness. Irene's dedication to our students was truly remarkable. She spent countless hours tutoring, mentoring, and simply being a supportive presence to anyone who needed it. Irene always had a ready smile, a word of encouragement, and a listening ear. She made every child feel seen and valued. And her legacy continues through the Irene Rosenbaum Memorial Fund, established by her family to support the Crestwood Elementary community. Mr. Speaker, Irene Rosenbaum represents the very best of our Commonwealth, an engineer who believed in the power of ideas, a volunteer who believed in education, and a neighbor who believed in the power of kindness. May Irene's memory continue to inspire us all to serve with the same compassion, humility, and grace that defined her life. Thank you.
Delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Trans, move that when the House adjourn today, do so in the honor and memory of Irene Rosenbaum. All those in favor shall please rise. The motion is agreed to. The delegate from Henrico, Delegate McQuinn.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for two introductions and a resolution.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker and members of the Assembly, I want to ask, first of all, if the group is here, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Infinite Scholar. If they're here, if they would please stand at this time. In introducing these individuals, it's a distinct honor to recognize them. Infinite Scholar is a distinguished national organization based in St. Louis, Missouri, founded in 2003 by Mr. Thomas E. Osley, who served as the founder and CEO and led by Ms. Chelsea Tyrus, Chief Operating Officer. The Infinite Scholars Program has been a trailblazer in connecting deserving students to opportunities in higher education. Through their tireless efforts, thousands of students across the nation have gained access to college admissions and scholarships. Many of their partners are colleges and universities offer on-site admission, scholarship, and even waive application fee for qualified students, removing barriers and opening doors to brighter future. Richmond Alumni Delta House Foundation Incorporated. It was established in 1993 to continue this great work right here in Richmond and Virginia. It's a charitable and educational work that they do, serve so many young people in this area. They have over the years given away millions, raised and given away millions and millions of dollars. So together, the Infinite Scholar Program and the Richmond Alumni Delta House Foundation exemplify the power of partnership, purpose, and progress in transforming lives and communities. Please join me in recognizing and applauding this outstanding organization and their leaders for the great work that they do right here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Welcome to the Capitol. Welcome to the Capitol today.
Mr. Speaker.
You still have the floor.
Again, for another introduction at this time, if they're in the gallery, I think they may not be, but the Richmond Continentals Incorporated. I rise today to recognize this group, again, another distinguished group, a nonprofit organization that has made many changes in the lives of those that they have worked with through their dedication to excellence and service and community engagement. This chapter was chartered on April the 17th, 1976, and is led by President Nkechi George Winkler. It is a dedicated group of women whose mission is to create environment within communities that empower children to have access to quality and comprehensive services. The Richmond chapter is a part of the National Continental Society Incorporated, founded in 1956, and remain committed to the shared mission of creating an environment where then our communities that empower children have access to quality and appropriate opportunities to reach their optimal potential. Operating under these various places of focus: health, education, employment, recreation, arts, and humanity. They have done tremendous work in the Commonwealth, in the greater Richmond area. Beyond their organizational achievement, the Richmond Continentals have demonstrated a deep commitment to civic responsibility, supporting local initiative, fostering workforce development, and giving back to the communities they serve. As they stand, I ask at this time if this body will join me in welcoming and recognizing Richmond Continental Incorporated for their outstanding contribution to the social and educational fabric of our Commonwealth. Please join me in giving them a round of applause.
Welcome to the Capitol today. I think y'all look beautiful too, by the way. The delegate from Richmond City, you still have the floor. You can just keep the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, at this time I have a resolution I want to call out of order. The respective resolution, H.R. 944.
We already passed it. Delegate McQuinn, we have already passed that resolution in block, but you are welcome to do an honor in memory of.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I at this time would like to speak to a motion in recognizing the individual in terms of that particular resolution.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise with a heavy heart, and as each of us have shared as a family, and the life of one by the name of Candace Gabriella King, who's the daughter of one of our colleagues. Candace was a remarkable young woman who passed away at the age of 15 years old after a courageous battle with sickle cell disease. Candace was far more than a patient or statistics. She was a warrior. She was a light and a leader whose strength inspired everyone who met her and those that she knew. Her name itself reminds us of the gifts she shared with the world. C, which stands for courageous, courage, because she never wavered even on the hardest days. A, for her ambition as she dreamed boldly despite the obstacles before her. Norfolk State was where she was going. N, for her nurturing spirit, always lifting others up with kindness and compassion, thinking about those colleagues or those young people that her peers that she attended school with. D, for her determination, the quiet fire that kept her fighting day after day. And I, for her inspiration, which she gave freely to friends, family, and her community. S, for her strength, both physical and emotional strength that defied her years. And her middle name, Gabriella, means God is my strength. And she believed that. It was reflected in her faith and grace through the pain. She carried herself like a king, K-I-E, her last name, living up to it, regal in character, resilient in spirit, and radiant in love. Candace's legacy reminds us why continued support for sickle cell research and awareness is so essential. She leaves behind a call to action that we must do more to ease the suffering of those living with this disease and to bring hope to families everywhere. Candace, again, was an awesome young lady whose life was so influential, even the years that she lived. The eulogists at her services, celebration of her life, by the name of Reverend Dr. Luke Torian. I want to allude to something he said. And he said, it is not in the quantity of years that you live, but it's about the quality of life that you provide for those around you. And so today, Mr. Speaker, I ask that when the House adjourned today, that we do it in the honor of Candace Gabriella King. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Delegate from Richmond, Delegate McQuinn, asks that when the House adjourns today, we do so in the honor and memory of Candace Gabriella King. All those in favor shall please rise. The motion is agreed to. Delegate from Richmond City, Delegate Carr.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for two introductions.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you. In the gallery today, we have representatives of the Jewish Community Federation of Richmond. I ask that they please stand. The Jewish Community Federation of Richmond has served as a cornerstone of Jewish life in Central Virginia for over 90 years, fostering unity, resilience, and compassion across generations. The Federation has mobilized resources, built global partnerships, and responded to crisis both locally and internationally with speed and empathy, supporting programs that enhance literacy, inclusion, and belonging amongst the Jewish and general community. They have provided tens of millions of dollars of support for those in need and built lasting connections between Richmond, Israel, and Zaporozhye, Ukraine, that enrich lives and strengthen community bonds. The Federation has empowered leadership, uplifted diverse voices, and created inclusive pathways for engagement, ensuring that every individual, regardless of background, ethnicity, or religion, feels welcomed, valued, and connected. Through tireless advocacy, educational initiatives, and philanthropic efforts, the Federation is a beacon of Jewish pride, cultural vitality, and civic responsibility in the Commonwealth of Virginia, supporting and moving forward initiatives which uplift all the people of Virginia. Please join me in giving the representatives of the Jewish Community Federation of Richmond a warm house welcome.
Welcome, welcome to the Capitol today. The delegate from Loudoun County,
Mr.
Delegate
Speaker.
Singh. Oh, you have another one. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We also have in the gallery representatives of the Giving Heart. I ask them to please stand now. The Giving Heart is a 501c3 nonprofit providing food, fellowship, and essential items to those in need. Since 2005, the Giving Heart has proudly hosted the annual Community Thanksgiving Day Feast at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. This free event focuses on inviting all to the table with special emphasis on our elderly neighbors, those in homeless or less fortunate situations, local military, and anyone who would normally spend Thanksgiving alone. This all-volunteer event typically hosts 3,000 in attendance. In 2020, the Giving Heart was unwavering in their commitments to serve during the pandemic. As restrictions continued with the new surge of COVID-related cases, they temporarily discontinued their dine-in tradition and converted to a drive-up takeout for their homeless guests and others, and delivery to their elderly and disabled population. For the last 4 years, the organization has provided deliveries to several thousand senior residents, disabled or residents facing health-related challenges. Their reach has expanded not only in the metro area, but in the Tri-Cities and surrounding localities. In total, they served close to 3,000 through the combined efforts of deliveries, drive-up, and walk-in orders. This year, they will continue to strengthen the delivery to the elderly and disabled recipients and have set a meal goal of 4,000 individuals overall. I ask that the House please give them a warm house welcome.
Welcome, welcome to the Capitol today. The delegate from the delegate from Loudoun County, Delegate Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today in the Capitol, we are joined by Virginia AmeriCorps members. On behalf of all AmeriCorps volunteers in the General Assembly, I'd like to ask them to stand. Members in our chamber have served in the AmeriCorps, and Mr. Speaker, while I did not serve in AmeriCorps, I'm a proud Peace Corps volunteer, and I'm grateful for all of the AmeriCorps volunteers. AmeriCorps is the largest funder of national service in the country, connecting individuals with organizations to tackle our nation's most pressing challenges. Here in Virginia, AmeriCorps thrives thanks to the partnership and leadership of the Virginia Service Commission, also known as Serve Virginia, along with the Governor's Advisory Board on Community Service and Volunteerism and the Virginia Service Foundation. Through the AmeriCorps state grants administered by Serve Virginia, community organizations across the Commonwealth mobilize approximately 400 AmeriCorps members each year. These dedicated members deliver critical services in every corner of our state, serving as tutors to improve literacy rates, guiding students toward post-secondary success, supporting refugees as they rebuild their lives, and addressing pressing community health needs. Mr. Speaker, I hope the body will join us in welcoming and thanking Virginia AmeriCorps programs and members for their incredible service to the Commonwealth.
Welcome, welcome to the Capitol. Thank you for your service. Delegate from Richmond City, Delegate Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, we have with us today members of the Baptist Ministers Conference of Richmond and vicinity. If members are here in the gallery, I would ask that they would stand. The Baptist Ministers Conference of Richmond and vicinity, a historic collective of clergy dedicated to the historic growth and development of pastors, ministers, and churches throughout the greater Richmond region. Under the leadership of Reverend Pernell Johnson, president of the conference, this organization continues a rich legacy of faith-based leadership, community service, and justice for all. The conference supports both clergy and the wider community through scholarship programs and partnerships with civic organizations, including the NAACP, to advance education, equity, and opportunity. The history of the Baptist Ministers Conference is deeply rooted in the broader story of Baptists in Virginia, dating back to early ministerial education efforts in the 1830s and the establishment of African Baptist churches in Richmond in the 1840s. Over the decades, the conference has remained steadfast in addressing critical social issues. In 1957, it courageously voiced its support for school desegregation in a letter to the governor of Virginia, underscoring its commitment to justice and equality. Today, the Baptist Ministers Conference of Richmond and vicinity continues to serve as a unifying force, empowering clergy, uplifting congregations, and strengthening community ties through outreach initiatives such as citywide revivals and collaborative service projects. And I would ask that members of the House would give them a warm House welcome.
Welcome to the Capitol today. The delegate from Prince William, Delegate Thomas.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today in the gallery, we have several representatives from the Sixth Center of Virginia, located in Manassas, Virginia. I would ask that they would please rise. The Sixth Center is an important part of Western Prince William County's community, promoting principles of peace, equality, and cultural understanding to all who visit. We just recently had some great celebrations there last week. The fellowship was fun, the food was good, and I would hope that everyone here in the chamber would give them a warm House welcome. Thank you.
Welcome to the Capitol today. The delegate from Suffolk, Delegate Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the gallery today, we have the Broken Men Foundation. If they can please rise. Awesome. The Broken Men Foundation is a Richmond, Virginia-based nonprofit dedicated to mentoring, educating, and empowering boys and young men to become confident, responsible, and community-minded leaders. Founded on the belief that every young man deserves consistent guidance and a circle of support, the foundation pairs evidence-informed mentoring with practical life skills training, academic support, and service learning. Through one-to-one and group mentoring, workshops on character and leadership, college and career readiness, and partnerships with schools, family, and local organizations, the Broken Men Foundation equips participants to set goals, make healthy decisions, and build resilience. By investing early and consistently, the Broken Men Foundation helps break cycles that limit potential and strengthens the next generation of men for their families, workplace, and communities. I hope it will be the will of the body to give them a warm House welcome.
Welcome to the Capitol today. Delegate from Spotsylvania, Delegate O'Rourke.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of a motion.
Delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today requesting that we would adjourn in memory and honor of James Carlton Graves. And if I may, Mr. Speaker, speaking to that motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Mr. Speaker, members of the body, as I say that name, many of you would know him as Jimmy Graves of Graves Mountain Lodge, a property that his father started as a farm there in Madison, and he and his wife Rachel began Graves Mountain Lodge in 1965. His wife and sons continue the operation today. It is a thriving business there in the Madison area. Unfortunately, Jimmy passed away this past Sunday, and I would hope that we would adjourn today in honor and memory of Jimmy Graves.
The delegate from Spotsylvania, Delegate O'Rourke, moves that when the House adjourn today, we do so in the honor and memory of James Carlton Graves. All those in favor of that motion shall please rise. The motion is agreed to. The delegate from Hampton, Delegate Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm going to ask that the members of Project Give Back to Community please rise if they are in the chamber. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, Project Give Back to Community is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to providing essential bed spaces for individuals reintegrating into society after incarceration. Since its inception in 2017, the organization has been committed to addressing the critical need for housing among men returning from correctional facilities in Virginia. Recognizing the significant challenges faced by returning citizens, Project Give Back to Community plays a vital role to ensuring a smoother transition and reducing the rate of recidivism in the Commonwealth. Housing stability is a key component in successful reentry, allowing individuals to focus on rebuilding their lives and reintegrating into their communities. In addition, Mr. Speaker, currently, Project Give Back to Community operates 9 locations across Virginia, offering a total of 55 bed spaces for individuals in need. These facilities provide a safe and structured environment where residents can access support services, employment opportunities, and other resources essential for their successful reintegration. Mr. Speaker, I ask that this body would please give a warm house welcome to Project Give Back to Community.
Welcome to the House. Welcome to the Capitol today. Delegate from Albemarle, Delegate Carlson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Visiting us in the General Assembly today are members of the Charlottesville Democratic Committee. I ask that they please rise. Mr. Speaker, local politics is where the rubber meets the road, and this morning these engaged citizens showed it by hitting the road to come witness the democratic process in action. And they are getting the full gambit today. I know these people well, I know their hearts, and I know that they are happy to witness the robust representation of our elected democracy in action today. I know this because since their founding, their committee, known as the CVille Dems, has volunteered countless hours to protect and uphold our democratic values. Every week, every weekend, especially every Thursday with tacos, they have engaged in meaningful civic engagement, activities such as voter registration, candidate forums, and community goodwill. As a resource for Charlottesville residents to make an impact both on Election Day and as active participants in the everyday work of democratic government, local political entities like the CVille Dems are the backbone of representative government. Mr. Speaker, I hope that my fellow delegates will join me in giving the CVille Dems a warm round of applause.
Welcome to the Capitol today. The delegate from Arlington, Delegate McClure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today in the gallery, we're joined by Virginians for Change, a dedicated bipartisan organization working across the Commonwealth of Virginia to educate, empower, and drive action to prevent gun violence. Virginians for Change bring together citizens from all walks of life to reject the status quo and work towards safer communities. Their work is rooted in the reality that gun violence remains the #1 cause of death for children in the United States, a statistic that compels us all to act. They also are bipartisans, and their work is bipartisan, and it not only underscores what they do, but it underscores the point that public safety and responsible policy transcend policy lines or party lines. Mr. Speaker, let us extend our thanks for Virginians for Change for making the trip to our Capitol today, for bringing their voices, for bringing their commitment, and for bringing hope that we can work together in this chamber and beyond on this issue. And Mr. Speaker, it is my hope that the body extend them a very warm House welcome.
Welcome to the Capitol today. The delegate from Richmond City, Delegate Cousins.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise for the purpose of an introduction.
Delegate has the floor.
Thank you. Today in the gallery is the Help Me, Help You Foundation, and I ask that they please rise to be recognized. Help Me, Help You is a Richmond-based nonprofit started in 2008, whose mission and vision is rooted in second chances and economic mobility. Help Me Help You serves as a voice, an advocate, and a real solution for people who have been justice involved by providing safe housing, workforce development, and wraparound support for people returning to their communities after incarceration and those experiencing homelessness. The Community Residential Housing Program, in partnership with the Department of Corrections, sleeps up to 6 individuals and provides safe, stable housing and individualized support for justice-involved individuals working toward independence. Help Me Help You is currently providing programming to 70 participants. Over the past 2 years, 30 participants received $500 per month as they worked to rebuild their lives, strengthen their families, and pursue economic mobility. Their approach is simple: dignity first, stability next, opportunity always. Through transitional housing, peer support, job readiness, and community partnerships, Help Me Help You creates real pathways to independence, not temporary fixes. They believe every person deserves a fair shot at rebuilding their life and contributing their talents. As they expand their housing portfolio and workforce programs, they remain focused on one mission: helping individuals not only survive barriers, but to overcome them. I ask my colleagues to please join me in giving them a warm house welcome.
Welcome, welcome to the Capitol. The delegate from Prince William, Delegate Sewell.
Mr. Speaker, I rise for an introduction.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the gallery today, we have members of the Richmond section of the National Council of Negro Women Incorporated, led by its president, Tyee Mallory. Nationally, NCNW is comprised of over 350 campus and community-based sections and 37 national women's organizations that enlighten, inspire, and connect more than 2 million women and men. Its mission is to lead, advocate for, and empower women of African descent, their families, and communities. It was founded in 1935 by Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, an influential educator and activist, and for 40 years, the iconic Dr. Dorothy Height, a member of Delta Sigma Theta, was president of National Council of Negro Women. Y'all saw me chuckle, like it was so hard for me to do that. NCNW programs are grounded on a foundation of critical concerns that are now NCNW priorities. The organization promotes education, encourages entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and economic stability, educates women about health and promotes healthcare access, and promotes civic engagement and advocates for sound public policy and social justice. I request that the members join me in extending a warm house welcome.
Welcome, welcome to the Capitol. The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Shen.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. I rise for the purpose of a motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that when the House adjourned today, it adjourn in the honor and memory of former Minnesota Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman, and I'd like to speak to that motion.
The delegate has the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, Mr. Speaker, the former Speaker of the House in Minnesota, Melissa Hortman, has a career trajectory that's not dissimilar from yours. She was first elected to the House of Representatives in Minnesota in 2004, rising to the rank of minority leader, and then becoming the Speaker in 2019. And first and foremost, Speaker Hortman was a committed public servant who loved her community dearly and whose community loved her back. She was a dedicated volunteer who taught Sunday school, and she loved dogs, often even fostering dogs. She was a lawyer, and she also served as a Girl Scout leader. She was a mom to Colin and Sophie, and a wife to Mark. She was first elected to the House, as I said, in 2004, and she served as Speaker until earlier this year. Her career was defined by how tirelessly she fought for working families, for environmental sustainability, for gender equity, and for democracy itself. Under her leadership, Minnesota expanded abortion protections, enshrined rights for LGBTQ+ communities, and passed landmark climate legislation to set ambitious clean energy goals for the state. She was a fierce advocate for gun safety, and she also helped pass significant police accountability reforms after the George Floyd murder. In the early morning hours of June 15th, Speaker Hortman was assassinated in her home alongside her husband, Mark, and their dog, Gilbert. Speaker Hortman's legacy will always be defined by the compassion, her sharp intellect, kindness, and fierce leadership she demonstrated fighting for the working families of Minnesota and in her community. Mr. Speaker, I would move again that we, when we adjourn today, we adjourn in honor and memory of former Minnesota Speaker Melissa Hortman.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Shin, moves that when the House adjourns today, it do so in the honor and memory of former Speaker of the House, Melissa Hortman. All those in favor shall please rise. The motion is agreed to. Pursuant to House Rule 30, the journal shall reflect that the following members are away on pressing. You want to do this again?
Mr. Speaker, you haven't let me stand up. I have a point of order. I'm the only one you did not allow to speak today.
We're beyond morning hour.
You turned my microphone off 5 times. You let certain people speak twice. I have students here that fight against Democrats shutting down debate, and you're not going to allow them to be recognized?
We're beyond morning hour. No. Thank you. Not allow you to be recognized. Pursuant to House Rule 30, the journal shall reflect that the following members are away on pressing personal business or granted leave from today's session. Delegates Ennis, Knight, Marshall, and Runyon. The delegate from Yes. The House will be at ease. House will come to order. Sergeant at Arms.
Mr. Speaker, a communication from the Senate.
Mr. Speaker, I have been directed by the President of the Senate to inform the House of Delegates that the Senate has finally agreed to House Joint Resolution 6006 of this special session.
Thank you. The delegates from Alexandria, Delegate Herring.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess until 3:05.
House stands in recess until 3:05. Mr. Clerk, you have any announcements?
Mr. Speaker, reminding the body that the House...
Mr. Speaker.
The delegate from Newport News.
Yes, thank you. Rising for the point of an announcement.
That he's about to make? You can make it then. Okay.
Slightly different one. The P&E will meet 15 minutes after recess.
Okay.
Mr. Speaker, the members of the body, the House Privileged and Elections Committee will be meeting 15 minutes upon the recess at approximately 1:20 over in House Room A in the lower level of the General Assembly building.
that the House stands in recess until 3:05 p.m.